Another episode of Rundown. If
Mhm.
you're feeling run down, this should pick you up. I guess. I don't know. That's a bad jingle.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a good one.
Wow. Thank you as we start the show.
Mhm.
Prepare yourself, guys. It's the
Weird.
T3
The rundown.
T3 Media.
Through the media.
We're going to talk about some stuff. That's it.
Entertaining. That's actually pretty accurate. We're going to talk about some stuff. Welcome to another episode of the Rundown Rush with your hosts Chris Fagan and Sarah Captain the Red, who is brilliantly coming up with
Hello.
a jingle for the rundown, where we're going to talk about some stuff. Right on the nose, right on the nose with that jingle. What's up, Sarah? How you doing? Thanks for joining me on this musical edition of the Rundown.
Mhm.
So we are going to discuss a few things. We're going to make this a Marvel rundown real quick. We're going to talk about all the things that's going on, the week's news that just blew up. So Mahershala Ali, his drama with Blade. We're talking Armor Wars, and there's some Iron Fist news, believe it or not. So I mean, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it because this is our lunchtime, and we want to go. We want to hurry and get back to work. So first on the rundown, let's see if I can get this working here, which I cannot, obviously. Let me switch it up. There we go. So from the Hollywood Reporter, I have breaking news coming from Marvel. Marvel shakes up Armor Wars. Don Cheadle series now being developed as a movie. Was set to be a TV series. And I have
Mhm.
theories on why they decided to change it up, but you looked this up too, and I think I heard you were doing your research on it before. What do you think about the news that Kevin Feige decided to switch up Armor Wars from a regular TV series to now a movie?
I like that it's going to be a movie. I think it'll be more interesting that if it's a movie. And when they do the movies, they
Mhm.
kind of relate it into maybe some of the other bigger movies too. So it's just not because the series they haven't really tied those in as strongly as
Right.
the other movies. So it gives me hope that maybe they're going to introduce some new characters that are going to also be in later movies, or they're going to use um, Don Cheadle in other movies as well. So, I mean, from our experience, what we're seeing in the movies versus the shows, they're kind of keeping them a little bit separate. Like the shows may have been affected by the movies or kind of picked up where some of the movies left off or
Mhm.
implied, but they're pretty much the movies are separate from what they've been doing in the
I
series.
agree. I agree
For the
with you on. I agree with you on that. It kind of reminds me of. Let me fix the camera, real quick. Don't worry about that. It kind of reminds me of when it was Netflix Marvel. And hey, Nixon, our navigators in the chat room, she says she's going to keep us to a tight 30. Remember the rules. And she did a great job yesterday. We were running long. You know how long-winded we can be sometimes on the show, and we
well,
weren't.
you are for
Well,
sure.
shut up. We weren't even halfway through the topics, and Navigator Nixon was like, "That's it. No,
Mhm.
shut it down, and we'll finish it off air." And I was like, "Okay, thanks." So Navigator
You're
Nixon,
gonna have to make her that T-shirt.
that's
You're gonna
her.
have to make her that T-shirt now.
The
So,
navigator, Nixon, the navigator, but she's in the chat
mhm.
room. It reminds me of back when Netflix Marvel was in play, and Kevin
Mhm.
Feige did not want his MCU affiliated. I mean, they allowed the TV shows to reference the movies, but the movies never referenced the TV series, and he made sure to keep that separate until he was in charge of it. Now with Disney Plus and these new shows, but you're right. The only TV series, even though the back and forth referencing is kind of happening more than it did back in the day with the movies acknowledging some of the
Mhm.
TV shows. It's only really happened with Doctor Strange and WandaVision and to a certain degree Spider-Man. And Kevin Feige announced that back in a Comic Con back in the day. He was like, that is an arc. WandaVision, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange are the most closely connected between the TV series and the movies. But you're right. Even though Hulk has been in She-Hulk and all these characters from these other movies are now making cameos in these TV series, it still feels like a separate thing. What do you make
Yeah.
from that?
I mean, it makes sense of what they're trying to do in the big box office versus, trying to keep us entertained and fueled in this Marvel universe. Just the audience in general. So it makes sense. Yeah, apparently my volume is low, Chris.
Um,
But I mean,
what?
it makes sense.
I don't see
You
how.
gotta turn my volume up, she
I'll
said.
turn it up, but I'll have to double check. It's all the way up to the max.
I'll just start yelling.
Okay.
I'll just start yelling. Can you hear me now?
There you go. Well, I can.
Yeah, but I like that they're kind of separate because the series kind of finishes out some of the things that they didn't answer in the movie or they didn't have time to do in the movies and stuff like that. So like if you look at Winter Soldier and stuff, they kind of gave us that finality for that storyline to where maybe it wouldn't make sense to have it in a movie because we get so much more in a series than we do in a 3-hour or 2-hour movie. Because obviously there's more time and there's more time for stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'll keep double checking on the volume thing. I don't know why I can't get the picture to come in for this so we can talk about. Let me see if I can fix that later. I might not be able to.
Yeah.
But it's just weird because I don't think now she says the volume sounds good, so I'm okay. So if maybe
Okay.
it's something with Discord, maybe something's kind of falling off, and I got to make sure to someday get these Discord links working so we can have people call in and talk with us because I would love to
Yeah.
talk with the audience more about this. I'm going to try to get that going at least by next week. I'll work on it today. But it's not what what the MCU was supposed to be now, because with Disney Plus being in play and Kevin Feige being more in control. And let me see if I can get this going or not. It was supposed to be
Just
more
be
closely.
twice. I like it.
It's supposed to be more interwoven, but it still feels separate. You say you like that it's separate. I don't. I thought they
do.
pitched it that it was supposed to be more interconnected, but it does still feel kind of separate. Maybe there are more people out there that agree with you that you'd rather it be a separate thing, even though they are connected technically.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the series are spawned off of the movies,
Right.
and that's how they're connected.
I mean,
But I mean, the series they're able to explore more of the story in depth, in a longer aspect because they get like 6-8 episodes depending on the series,
Right.
and so they're able to give us more of a story. Where if they were trying to shove all of that information into a movie, it would be a shorter movie.
right.
So, and saying that and circling back to the actual topic with Don Cheadle in Wars, I get why they want to make that a movie. It's going to be an epic battle scene. It's going to be all of this production value, and it's just more fun to watch that on the big screen versus on
Definitely.
your screen at home.
Definitely. And I hope this means that from what they saw, I think I have two theories. One, I think from what they saw in production of the TV series, they realized this is too good. We this would be better
Yeah.
served on other situations, the criticisms of some shows, some series being too short or too long, or when you look at like Obi-Wan, for example. I know that's Star Wars, but it was like they could have chopped that up and just made that a movie. Or
It could, but you would have lost a lot of information, a lot of diving into the characters. So I fully agree, and I loved that was a series because we got to get a little more in depth with those characters than we would have in a movie because the movie has that time limit. And what would they have made, like a 3-part movie? Like they could have made 3
Well, I
movies out
mean,
of that instead of doing the series.
according to the fan cut, when you cut out all the filler stuff that was unnecessary, it shrunk it down. They kept all the important conversations, but all this unnecessary stuff, like the unnecessary backflip, for example, like the little stuff that didn't need to be in there. When you cut, there was a lot of it in there. When you cut it out, it came down to a 2-hour cut anyway. Obi-Wan was only 6 episodes. That's 6 hours. So if you could find 3 hours of filler that you can cut out without taking away the character development, that's probably what's kind of
Completely
happening.
subjective.
Right.
But the filler stuff is completely subjective, and I'm sure anybody could cut out things. But again, those little things, I just enjoyed the entire thing,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have
That,
cut out and
that's
lost any of it because it did bring a lot to all the characters that were there, and it kind of sets them up because they're doing another season of it, aren't they?
well, maybe, but
Obi-Wan.
but
That's
who?
the rumor.
That's the rumor. But who knows that if like you said, bringing this to the big screen, it could also mean that they're not going to take out all that what we consider quote unquote filler, and we might be seeing an Armor
You
Wars.
said that, not me. I like.
What we might be seeing an Armor Wars 2 and 3 to I mean where it could be where it was once a 9 or 12 episode series could now become a trilogy. So I mean depending on how well
That could be.
it's received. So we still might get all that not filler but that extra if I that's the best way I can describe it. But from
Extra good.
the extra good from Marvel. Let's see, from a Hollywood Reporter. Let's see if I can read this real quick. Marvel Studios has shaken up the Armor Wars project, and now what has been a series for Disney Plus will be redeveloped as a feature film. The move essentially pushes back the title further down development slate. So I guess there's going to be a delay now from when it was originally supposed to come
I
out.
guess.
Excuse me. Sources
Yeah.
say the studio was committed in getting the story told the right way in the process, realized that a feature was better suited for the project. Like all Marvel movies, it is intended for a theatrical release. What if what if this also
Our picture, I'm looking at our YouTube live and we are both frozen. So I don't even know if they're hearing any of this.
let's double check.
Our video's frozen on YouTube.
Let me go into it.
Yours and mine. So I know it's not just me. I'm looking at the live chat. I don't know if our audio. Yeah, I don't hear any audio either.
YouTube is not receiving enough video from. Let's see. They're not going to take out all that but
Obi-Wan.
but
That's
who-
the rumor.
that's the rumor. But who knows that if
It looks like it's the audio was still running, but the video was
but the video stopped.
yeah, the video's frozen.
Let me double check to see if it's back up. What we might be
I mean, they
we
can
might
hear
be
us.
seeing an Armor
They
Wars
just
2
can't-
and 3 to I mean where it could be
Our
a,
audio.
where it was
Okay,
once
so it
a
sees where
9
you
or
scroll
12
down, but
episode
it
series
just
could
keeps
now become a
cutting
trilogy. So
and being
I mean depending
frozen,
on how
and they can
well
hear us
it's
talking.
received. So we still might get all that
But the live feed of the
shaking
video
up,
isn't.
the Armor Wars
It's just
project, and now
keeps freezing
what has been a series for
for some
Disney Plus
reason.
will be redeveloped as a feature film. The move essentially
So it's
pushes
not-
back the
it's not
title
anima-
further down development.
You're
slate.
frozen,
So
and I
guess it's gonna
can't
be a
tell
delay
if
now
you
from when it
are.
was originally supposed to come
I
out.
guess.
Sources
Yeah.
say the studio
double check
was
if
committed
it's
in getting the
Discord, if
story
it's-
told the right way.
It might
in
be
the process,
Discord.
Realized that a feature was better suited for the project. Like all Marvel movies, it is
Yeah.
intended for a theatrical
Because your
release.
ICU is frozen
Uh,
on that bottom
What if-
screen.
What if this also?
Our picture. I'm looking at our YouTube live, and we are
Yeah,
both
they can
frozen,
definitely
so
still
I don't
hear
even
us,
know if
but
they're
just
hearing
not
any of this.
see us.
Let's double check.
Yeah, I don't hear any audio either.
Yeah, it's a
YouTube is
huge
not
delay.
receiving enough video from. Let's see.
Is it animating again?
But
Obi-Wan.
But
That's
who-
the rumor.
that's
No.
the rumor. But who knows that if
It looks like it's the audio
But
was
there's
still running.
There
is a bit of delay, so. So I just see you, and you are frozen, holding your chin.
well that's because that's what I'm doing.
I know.
Oh, but on the live, yeah, it's a huge delay. It says not receiving. YouTube is not receiving enough video. Open widget. Poor.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it! It's probably the internet over here. Maybe it's. Yeah, everything is acting all. Well, that sucks. I gotta. You know what? I haven't done in a long time. I haven't reset my router, and,
Yeah.
and that might be.
Well, honestly, it could be the hurricane and everything delaying stuff in, well, a lot of people's areas because we're both in, the kind of
South.
southern end of the country.
Yeah.
You
Well,
being south, I guess you're south central and I'm southeast.
yeah. It still says it's poor. It's not receiving anything. Well, I can't let the show just be about us fixing the internet. So I guess I'll cut the live feed and we can continue off.
They've made TV series on less, Chris. Have you
Right.
seen IT Crowd? That's literally the whole show is them fixing people's computers.
And
So
it's
I
a
just see
comedy.
you and you are
I think
frozen holding your
we
chin.
might be back up. I don't know. That's because that's what I'm doing. Hey,
And nobody
what's up,
says
movie
what
burners?
they're not.
We're having some
Live,
technical
yeah.
difficulty.
It's
That's
a
what we're doing.
huge delay.
It says the
It's
video.
not-
He says the video
That's
is back
what's
up.
up.
Receiving. YouTube is not
Technical
receiving enough.
difficulty is
All right.
what's up.
It seems like
Yeah, you're moving. I can see you
it seems
now.
like we might be back up now. So let's. Sorry about that, guys. We lost a whole chunk of time on that. So I'll move on to the next topic for the Marvel rundown. That was Armor Wars we
We got-
talked about. Then we were hit with huge technical difficulties. So let's move on. The Blade news. What
Chris,
do
you are a technical difficulty.
yeah,
just
of
to
course.
say.
I mean, of course. You heard about the Blade news, right? What was going on with Mahershala Ali's movie Blade, and the fact that they lost a director
Yes.
now. And is this thing even going to happen? What is going on in
I
your opinion?
sure as hell hope so.
What was the news
I
that you
will
ran
be the
across?
first to cry
If they don't
if it
do
doesn't happen. Yeah. So the articles that I've been seeing is how Mr. Ali is very frustrated in the process right now because he is on board. He is ready to make this. He's looking forward to, coming back and fulfilling this character.
Mhm.
And like most of us true Marvel fans, and you can come at me if you want to, Blade is something that I've been praying and hoping that they would revive. Because if you look at kind of the arc for these Marvel movies, Blade, the original Blade with Wesley Snipes, he was one of the first really comic book movies that came out and did really well for at least my generation of people. And so I fell in love with that movie. I love that movie. I love
You
all
mean
the
the baby
movies.
boomers?
And I mean our favorite, I'm not a baby boomer. I'm gonna slap you. Ryan Reynolds is in that movie, so I don't know if that's his first kind of superhero movie that he was in or not, but he kind of played like the hero and then kind of the villain a little bit in some of the
You mean
subsequent
you mean on
movies.
Blade 3 when he played Hannibal King? Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a former vampire
Yeah.
turned hero. Yeah, he was. That was a comic book character. It was almost like an audition for Deadpool.
Almost.
Yeah, his character. He
It
was
kind of
the-
felt that way,
he
doesn't
felt, he
it?
felt a little Deadpoolish on that. But the drama, I got
Yeah.
this coming in from Scream Rant. Let me switch gears real quick and try to push on this one fast so we can get to the last topic. The latest change in the Marvel Blades should be a cause for concern. Announced during Marvel Studios San Diego Comic-Con 19 Hall H panel, the upcoming reboot will introduce the Daywalker to the MCU. Unfortunately, the project is encountering some major troubles as hinting by the news update from the upcoming Marvel Studios. Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali is set to headline Blade as its title character. 2 years after it was initially publicized, its landed director Basan Tariq, best known for helming 2013's These Birds Walk and 2020's Mowgli? Mowgli. Since then,
Mowgli.
the production has quietly progressed. Plot details are still scant at the moment, but the film is reported about to start filming in this coming November. under the working. But then, boom, the director backs out. So it's like, how do you have to get a director has to prep. I mean, if you get a new director
Yeah.
now, that means that this movie is gonna get delayed.
Absolutely.
There's no way. And there has to be a delay because Nixon is just now getting our baby boomer chat.
Yeah.
That's funny. So I'm gonna have to fix the delay and see if I can speed that up. But do you think it's
Plus,
possible?
we're frozen.
Are we frozen again?
Yeah, it froze during when I was on the screen, and now it's freezing on and off when you're on the screen.
All right. We'll
It's okay. Let's keep
just power
rolling.
through.
Let's keep.
The-
We got to do what we got to do.
What are your thoughts on? Well, you said it yourself that it's possible that Mahershala Ali is very frustrated. That's being what's reported. Do you think it's possible that Mahershala Ali may back out of Blade?
I sure hope not. I sure hope not. Everything that I've read, and obviously I don't know him personally, but everything that I've read says that he's really committed to this, and that's why he's been doing the interviews talking about, how frustrated he is with this process and how he, wants to do this role, but yet I don't know why these little hiccups keep happening.
Yeah, I don't know why these hiccups keep happening here on the rundown, but we gotta fire through. But it's crazy though because I was surprised. I'm not surprised that they got the caliber of actor in him. They got him to agree to it, but I'm surprised because
It's a great role.
it's a great role. He's a great actor, but if you want to franchise this, and it takes a while for these movies to get made, especially with Kevin Feige doing 20 other movies at the same time all the time. His age doesn't lend to him being Blade for that long. I don't see a Blade 3 with Mahershala Ali unless they really
Oh no,
rush
man.
through it.
I don't know.
I thought they
I
would
don't
have
think
gone
you
younger.
should. Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'll look at
What is that thing that they say about
Black Don't Crack.
African American? Yeah, that one.
But
That's literally when you said that he was old. That's what I thought.
yeah, that's fine. But that doesn't change the fact that he's 48. And if you want a 10-year
He
commitment,
doesn't look 48.
But what is his body telling you? What is it telling him? I mean, can he commit to 12 to 15 years? I mean, when Hugh
It looks
Jackman
great
started,
from where I'm sitting.
when
Who
Hugh,
knows?
when Hugh Jackman started to play Logan, he was in his 30s. I mean, and now he's
Yeah.
pushing 50 when he was done with it. In his 50s when he's done with it. Mahershala Ali is 2 years away from 50, and he hasn't even started filming yet. So it just concerns me. We can get a lot from Blade if they push it, like with the Avengers types, collab types of movies and stuff like that. But at Blade 2 and 3, 2 I can see, but I'd be shocked unless they really focus on Blade, and I don't see any signs that they're not pushing them out like the way
Things
Sony's pushing out.
Disney. Like all things Disney, you know that they have a 20-year plan.
Yeah, but
So whatever
but
the
do they
plan
have
is,
20
I don't
years
know
out
if
of
they're
a
planning on
48-year-old?
making. But who knows if they're even planning on making more than one of these? We don't
True.
even know that.
Yeah, if
Do we?
it's going to be rated R and things, or PG, it's going to be rated PG-13. I'm sure
Yeah.
whatever it's going to be is going to be great. But with the director's issue now happening, that's another delay, and it just concerns me. This movie
Yeah.
did not need.
I have no
any
idea what
hiccups.
they're going to do with it. If
So-
they're even going to make a second one. I mean, it could just
I
be
hope
one
so.
movie.
And if they don't, I would be okay with Blade just then doing cameos or being featured in team up movies. That'd be fine with me. That'd be okay.
Well, I mean, Blade as the comic book character did team up and do crossover things in other comics and with other individuals, didn't he?
Yeah, a lot, and
Yeah.
I'll be okay with that too. Now it says that the stream is healthy and
Ooh, now.
yeah, now
Okay.
after all those hiccups,
We've got 0 minutes and one more topic.
we got five.
We're
we got,
over 30
We got
minutes
5
now.
minutes and 25 seconds left on this
Okay.
stream. Moving on to the last topic, another bit of the Marvel rundown. Let's see if I can get this without having to. What's going on with my? There we go. Ooh, I figured out the hotkey. Iron Fist is back in the news again. Finn Jones, the actor who played Iron Fist in the Netflix, we were speaking about Netflix Marvel earlier. He's hoping to return to the MCU in a Heroes for Hire, which is a comic book series that features Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Heroes for Hire. I gotta say, I understand the flack that the series got when it first came out. I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy it, but I understood people's complaints when they saw it in comparison to Jessica Jones and Daredevil and things like that, and with Luke Cage.
Yeah.
But the character got better, in my opinion, in the second season, and he was definitely the Iron Fist that people were asking for in that Defenders compilation thing. So I thought that
Yeah.
would have been enough to give us a season 3, but it wasn't. And then Marvel was trying to get the rights back, but I feel like that series gets overly hated on. Like it's a cool thing to hate on that series. But one of the actors that was in that I forgot his name, but he was also featured in a much beloved Netflix show, The Ozark. He played the I don't know, did you watch The Ozark?
I did.
He played the schizophrenic brother of his wife's little brother that had the
Yeah.
mental issues. He was also in Iron Fist, and I felt like his character, his arc, because he hated Iron Fist, and then his arc to become Danny Rand's ally in the end. I felt like
Yeah.
it was the same type of delivery that he gave in the Ozark, and I thought at least that would have been enough to pique people's curiosity for a third season, because I thought they did great together. But that's just my opinion. Oh, what about you? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you know about? Did you watch Iron Fist, and are you even
I did.
worried about?
Iron Fist.
Do you think that it's possible
I
that they could bring him back?
I don't think so, really.
Yeah.
If you look at that character, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, there wasn't a lot of future interaction with that character after the Defenders. So, and I understand why they made just the 2 seasons, because they kind of, pushed the story out as far as it could go
Yeah.
with how they kind of formulated that story and had the direction in which it would go. So in order to have a completely other season of it stand alone, they would have had to create another story arc, which they really didn't have in the bag the way that they had set up everything in the beginning. So him being on Defenders, that's probably the series that I liked him the most on. And it's not to say that his series was bad, it just wasn't as fun to watch as, say, like Daredevil and Jessica Jones, which were 2 of my favorites. And Luke
Agreed,
Cage
yeah.
was also really fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Which is probably why he's
so-
pushing for a Heroes for Hire, because that would be him and Luke Cage in a team up buddy cop type of a kind of a film.
And that would be very watchable.
Oh yeah.
That would be very watchable and really fun and a good addition. So, I mean, that makes sense.
And here's what he said real quick. When we got 2 minutes left before we got. So if you're watching, she said Nixon was saying I lost track of time, but that's it. We're at the 2-minute warning. He says, I would love to continue playing the character. I think there's a lot of room for growth personally, where I would like to see the reintroduction of the character would be something like a Heroes for Hire TV series. I think that would be the most dynamic and fun way to reintroduce those characters. And I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
The man who played Iron